Welcome to Kat Sara Yoga, 30 Days of Yoga. I'm Kat and this is day 16, Strength. Enjoy the class. Starting in your comfortable seated position, cross-legged or with one heel in front of the other, and sitting up on a block or support if it makes it feel more comfortable for you, creating a bit more of a levelness between your knees and your hips. Let your hands come down to your knees or thighs. Close your eyes and allow your awareness to scan over your body, noticing how you're feeling today. Returning to the mat for more yoga and just feeling grateful to yourself for carving out this time and this opportunity to feel good. Observe the sensation of your breath as it flows in and as it flows out. Allow the breath to follow its easiest path. And observe that your breath is like a circle, repeating over and over again. Inhalation is followed by exhalation, followed by inhalation, a repeating circle. And then as your awareness of the breath begins to heighten, notice that after every inhalation there is a naturally occurring pause and the exhalation just organically begins. And then after the exhalation there is a pause and the inhalation organically begins. And your mind will stay connected with this 4-part circle of breath throughout the whole class today. On your inhalation, shrug your shoulders right up to your ears. Feel your spine is wonderfully long. And exhale, drop your shoulders down your back, as if you could put them in your back pockets and keep them there. And repeat that a couple more times. Inhale, shrug the shoulders up, and exhale them down. And again. Keep your shoulders sunk down your back, into your back pockets. Keep them there. Float your arms up to shoulder height and we'll circle the wrists, warming up the wrists. Inhaling, circling up, exhale down. It's really important to warm up the different areas of the body that we're going to be stretching and strengthening in the class. And then circling the other way. Nothing should ever hurt in yoga. But if you're feeling the burn of the muscles working, just breathe it away. You can do this. And then release down. A few nice big shoulder shrugs and circles. Sinking your shoulders down your back, bring your fingertips down by your sides. Inhale as you reach one arm up and over, and exhale into a gentle side lean. Inhaling, cartwheeling your arms up, and exhale over. Continuing with the breath. Inhale up and exhale over. Good. And last round. Come back to center. We're warming up the side bodies, warming up the core, warming up the back and the spine. Bring palms to touch. Inhale, reaching your arms up, and exhale, gentle twist, looking out over your back shoulder. Inhale, reach and lengthen back to center, and exhale the other way. Inhale back, float the arms up. Exhale, twist. Inhale up, and exhale, twist. Inhale back to center, bring palms to touch. Exhale, your hands down in front of your heart. Inhale, sweep your arms around and up. Exhale, bring your fingertips onto your shoulders. Inhaling, circling your elbows up. And exhale, back and down, squeezing shoulder blades together. Inhaling up and exhale down. And again. Good, and then going the other way. And one more time. And then releasing your arms down, have a few gentle shoulder shrugs and circles. Let's move forward onto hands and knees, with hands under shoulders and knees under hips. Spread out your fingers, Creases between your wrists and hands are parallel with the front of the mat, lengthening from the crown of your head to the tailbone, your flat cat position. Imagine you have a light on your chest and you're beaming it straight down at the earth. Inhale as you shine your light forward in front of you, curl your toes under, ground your toes into the earth into up cat. Bring the tops of your feet to the mat. Exhale, tuck your tailbone under, round your spine, and we're coming all the way down into child pose in this extended up cat, down cat vinyasa today. So inhaling through to up cat, shine your chest forward, curl your toes under, ground your toes firmly into the earth to feel that lovely stretch in your feet. Bring the tops of your feet to the mat. Exhale, round your spine, releasing your neck, let your head hang down, let your bottom sink down to your heels. And again, we're warming up back muscles, reversing the curves of the spine to keep wonderful flexibility in your back. Good. And sinking your bottom down to your heels. Inhale as you come back to hands and knees. Curl your toes under and exhale your bottom up in the air into downward facing dog. Let's flow with the breath. Inhale slowly, hands and knees. Bring the tops of your feet to the mat and exhale, sink your bottom down to your heel. Inhale, hands and knees. Curl your toes under and exhale, downward dog. Take a lovely inhalation and exhale as you walk your feet behind your hands, keeping your feet parallel, heel behind the widest part of the foot. Walk your hands back towards your feet, let your knees bend and belly rest on your thighs into forward fold. Bring your hands onto your shins, keeping your knees bent. Inhale, lift your collarbone up and forward, and exhale, release your upper body back down. Draw your tummy in, lift your pelvic floor, hinge at the hips as you come all the way up to standing, sweeping your arms around and up. Inhale towards the top. Gentle back bend and exhale your hands down in front of your heart. So you've got your nice parallel feet about inner hip distance apart. And we're coming into a really strengthening pose called chair pose. This is strengthening for your whole body. You can have your hands on your hips, just thumbs on the back of the pelvis, fingertips on the inner hip bones. And inhale, as you sit your bottom down as if you were sitting on a chair, your knees don't overshoot your toes. So it's like your knees and toes were flat against a wall, bottom sitting backwards. You will feel the weight coming back into your heels, so work to ground the balls of your feet into the earth so that the entire feet are grounded. The arches of the feet feel lifted and the toes are relaxed. So the balls of the feet, left and right sides of the heel are grounded. If you want a little bit more challenge, you can sweep your arms out in front of you, palms facing towards each other. Keep those shoulders away from the ears. If you want still more challenge, try and sink your bottom down a bit lower, but remembering knees not overshooting the toes. This is a very strengthening pose for your whole body. It builds heat in your body. Try using your Ujjayi breath that we did in day 12 to give yourself fierce strength in this pose. So it's chair pose, also called fierce pose. And then on your next exhalation, come up to standing. Well done, can feel the burn in the thighs there. And so we're going to come into a chair pose, but we're going to move through a vinyasa to come back down to the mat. So on your next inhalation, sitting into your chair pose strong. And then exhaling as you hinge forward at your hips, letting your knees bend and your belly rest on your thighs, rounding over. Bring your hands to your shins and inhale. Lift your collarbone up and forward, flat back. Exhale, release and round back down. Walk your hands forward and your feet back, coming into downward dog. Let's flow with the breath. Inhale, slowly, hands and knees. Bring the tops of your feet to the mat and exhale, sink your bottom down to your heel. Draw your tummy in towards your spine and slowly roll yourself up to sitting. Bring your bottom to the floor. So I'm going to give a couple of options for the next practice. I'll give the gentle option first. So for this one, you're going to come down by your side and roll onto your front. Feel free to just hang out here, resting on your front for a few breaths. And then for a more challenging option from sitting, coming into a half plank position, So hands under shoulders, nice spread out fingers, creases between your wrists and hands parallel with the front of the mat. Nice straight line from the crown of the head to the tailbone, tummy drawn in towards the spine. Inhale here, and exhale as you lower yourself down to the floor in one long piece. So we all arrive on our fronts and taking up this position here. So we've got hands underneath the shoulders directly, elbows in, toes curled under, forehead on the mat or nose on the mat. And then on your inhalation, engaging the fronts of the thighs and pushing your heels away. You may find that your forehead naturally lifts off the floor as you send the breath into the lower portions of the lungs, engaging the diaphragm and also working your deep postural back muscles, but you're not craning your head up and you're not grounding your hands into the earth. They're just resting there. Exhale, release back down. We did this movement in one of the very early classes in the series. So we'll repeat that again. Inhaling, engaging the fronts of your thighs, pushing your heels away, and maybe feeling that there's a natural lengthening of the collarbone up and forward and the forehead drifts off the mat. Exhale back down. And again. Inhale, engage the fronts of the thighs, push out through your heels. And this movement has a purpose. Exhale, release back down. And again. We are preparing for another back bend, which can be included in the sun salutation, called upward facing dog. And we'll look at that preparation a little bit more tomorrow. So we can keep going with this. So for a more gentle option here, stay with this. Inhaling, engaging the fronts of the thighs, pushing the heels away, buttocks are staying soft. Exhale down. If you want more challenge, then you can bring this into a vinyasa, a different vinyasa. So we're inhaling, lifting the fronts of the thighs, engaging them, pushing out through the heels. Exhale, release back down. Inhale, push up onto hands and knees into your half plank. And exhale into downward dog. Flow with the breath. Inhaling, lowering with control into your half plank position. Do take a moment to change your hand, knee, feet position if you need to. Exhale, lower down to the floor in one long piece of chaturanga. Inhale, push the heels away. Breathe in, maybe your forehead will lift off the mat. Buttocks stay soft, fronts of the thighs are lifted and working. Exhale, release back down. Feel drawn by a string around your waist, tummy drawing in towards the spine. As you inhale, push back up to hands and knees, and exhale into downward dog. So we'll do one more round like that. Inhaling, hands and knees into half plank position. Tummy draws in towards the spine, shoulders away from the ears, elbows stay in as you lower yourself down to the floor in one long piece. Inhale, push your heels away, lift your collarbone up and forward, engage the fronts of your thighs. Exhale, release back down. You'll feel your back muscles working. Inhale, push up to hands and knees, and then exhale, downward dog. So we'll make this the last round, and then we'll rest on the mat. So inhaling, hands and knees. Find your half plank position, hands under shoulders, hips forward of the knees, toes curled under, tummy drawn in towards the spine. And exhale, lower yourself down to the floor in one long piece. And then inhaling, pushing the heels away, engage the fronts of the thighs. Forehead will drift off the mat. Think of lengthening collarbone up and forward. And exhale, release back down. Just take a moment to rest. So just allowing yourself to rest and relax here. Have a little wobble, side to side. Sink and melt into the mat. Feel the earth supporting you. Relax your jaw, relax your neck. And if it's uncomfortable to have your head to the side, you can make this little diamond shape with your hands and rest your forehead in the diamond shape. Relaxing your legs, your feet, your buttocks, everything soft. Some lovely deep breaths here. And then bringing your hands back underneath your shoulders, your forehead to the center if it's not there already. Engage the backs of your thighs. Your feet are in hip distance apart. So you could imagine if you had lines up the back of your legs, like old-fashioned stockings, those lines would be shining up towards the ceiling. Ground that little bit extra through the baby toe sides of your feet. And then we're coming into a very delicious and gentle back bend called Sphinx pose. Sliding your hands forward so that your elbows come underneath your shoulders directly. Fingers nice and spread out. Grounding the forearms gently into the earth. So a little bit of pressure, the hands pushing down. But you're lifting from your core. So if you imagine that you had a little daisy underneath your tummy button, and you just didn't want to squash the daisy. So you're lifting from the tummy gently drawing in towards the spine and lifting your pelvic floor as well. So that sense of really lengthening up through your spine. Backs of the legs active, grounding a little bit extra through the baby toe sides of the feet. Breathe here. Lift your collarbone. Be aware that you're not craning the back of your neck, so think of lovely space between each vertebra at the back of the neck. And one more breath here in Sphinx pose, feeling like you're resting on a cloud, so not pushing down with the belly. And then slowly releasing back down, and let your head turn to the side or just resting your forehead on the mat. Maybe cradling your head in that diamond shape with your hands if that's more comfy. And just melting here again, wobble side to side. Feel the earth supporting you. And a lovely deep breath. And then rolling over onto your side and onto your back. One at a time, draw your knees in towards your chest. Give them a hug as you rock side to side, massaging out through the lower back and having some nice circles with the knees. Feeling this massaging the flesh all around the base of the spine at the sacrum. Come back to center. Keep your right knee hugged in and place your left foot down on the floor. Flex your right foot. And then you can straighten your left leg if that feels comfortable for you, flexing the left foot. If you do have any problems with this right knee, or if it feels quite difficult to bring the knee in, then I would suggest keeping your left knee bent and the left foot flat. And another alternative is to hold this right knee behind the thigh so you're not putting pressure on the knee. But if you're okay to go into the full expression of the pose, you can hold the top of the right knee, so the right shin there, and you can straighten out the left leg. And we start with the right knee in because this is the direction of the ascending, transverse and descending colon. So this is helping to keep your digestion flowing through and really good and stimulating for the organs of the abdomen. So breathe into your belly. Feel the belly expanding against the thigh. And this is going to bring a wonderful massage to your internal organs and improves their function, improves their blood supply. Keep thinking of your right hip traveling down towards the foot of the mat so that you're not twisting the pelvis up to the right. You're extending the right hip away to keep your pelvis nice and level. So if you'd like a little bit of extra challenge here, we're going to use our abdominal muscles to bring the nose towards the knee. So make sure your chin is slightly tucked in towards your chest like you're holding an orange under your chin. And draw your tummy in towards your spine, lift your pelvic floor, feeling like that hammock of muscle at the base of the body is drawing up and in. Inhale here and exhale as you get the sense of drawing your lowest rib closer to the inner hip bones. So it's your abdominal muscles lifting your head and shoulders off the floor. You might not get your nose all the way to the knee, that's okay. And then inhale, releasing these muscles slowly and with control. And the back of your head, so the lower part of the back of the head comes down to the floor, but don't let your head flop back. You need to keep that sense of the orange underneath your chin. So we'll do that one again. So inhaling here and exhaling, lowest rib towards the inner hip bones as you bring nose up towards the knee. Inhale, slowly release back down with control, not letting the head flop back. Back of the head lands softly on the mat. One more time. Inhale here. Exhale up. Inhale, slowly lower back down. Release the upper body, shoulders away from the ears. Maybe you can feel your tummy starting to talk to you, stimulating digestion. Let's swap over legs. So left knee comes in, have a little rock side to side. Flexing left foot, place the right foot down, and you can keep it like this as well. If this is easier to keep your left knee in, then do keep the right foot flat on the mat, or you can extend that leg all the way out. Flexing both feet, imagining that your left hip is extending down towards the foot of the mat. Breathe into your belly. Good. Keeping that right leg nice and active, noticing the points of contact between the right leg and the earth and grounding down through them. If you'd like the extra challenge, inhale, widen full into your chest. Keep the chin slightly tucked in towards the chest. And exhale, drawing your tummy in towards your spine as you close the gap between the lowest rib and the inner hip bones in the front of the body. Inhale, slowly lower down with control. And exhale up. So it's never the superficial muscles of the neck working, so not the kind of outer ones, but the deep postural muscles of the neck will be working. But you're keeping that alignment like you put an orange under your chin. All the way up and all the way down. Last one. Great for core strength, this one. Lower down. Beautiful. Release. And let's bring both knees in. Have a gentle rock side to side. And a little circle out. Circle round for the knees. Good. Rolling over onto your side. Slowly make your way up to the dip. And so then coming into a star pose with the soles of the feet quite a good distance in front of you here. Move the flesh of your buttocks out the way, and I always find it easier to have the ankles on the mat because the wooden floor is hard on my ankles. Make sure you're comfortable. Always use supports, props if you need to. Cushions, blankets, blocks are great. So I'm sitting up on a block because this feels much better on my lower back. And you might like to move the flesh of your buttocks out the way. And just take a moment to sit here in your seated star pose. So this is the first external rotation of the hips we've done in the class today. And so you might feel that you are a little bit tighter in this pose than you were perhaps in previous classes when we did seated star pose after some hip warm-ups. Every time you come to the mat, you might feel different. It depends what you've been doing that day, that week, maybe even in that same class before each pose, which warm-ups you've done, which poses you've done before. So every single day of yoga is different. Always listen to your body and always tune in to what feels right for you. So this seated star with this external rotation of the hip might feel like quite a big stretch. If you want a little bit more, you could inquire into tipping forward and even into rounding over. Slowly lengthen yourself back upright, come into a comfortable cross-legged seat. Bring palms to touch in front of your heart. Shoulders away from the ears, long and lengthened spine. Take a moment to breathe. Feeling grounded, feeling strong. Feeling grateful for your yoga practice today. Bringing your thumbs just to the centre of your forehead, to the third eye point, bowing your head. Feel that lovely back of the neck stretch. And breathe. Thank you so much for joining me. Namaste. I will look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Thanks again. Bye.